Alright, so I'm going to go over the relief carving. We've done this once before this year. Just like to go over it again. Just because you can't go over things enough in here. Every time you watch something, even when I watch my students, I always pick something new up. So the relief carving can be fairly simple. It can be really complex. It can create a lot of layers. But I'm going to go over a real basic one here. So what I usually do is I take a pen or a pencil and I like to trace my lines. You can see I've already got pre-traced lines here. And I do it lightly first so I can see if I made any mistakes, anything that's not that smooth, and just kind of clean it up. Then after I've cleaned up everything and make sure it's nice and flowing and doesn't have any chunks, then I go ahead and start carving. So I'll show you on the side here. I'm going to carve one, and I like to pull one direction. Just makes it smoother. So I'm going to dig in with this graffito tool. You can use a bobby pin as well. Bobby pin works just as well. So if you look in my drawer and there's no bobby pins or no graffito tools, you can use the opposite. So you notice I dig pretty deep on that. Dig pretty deep. I'm going to continue that line. Use the deeper side of this graffito tool. The bobby pin, you don't have to worry about how deep it goes because the bobby pin goes as deep as you want it to. This one has one shallow side and one deep side. I like the deep side, especially for relief carving. I just go very slowly and follow my lines. Okay, and I like to finish out my entire line before I start carving it. It allows me to kind of look at things and see where I'm going with the next line, so I like to make sure I do the entire line. And you can see that one was a little shallow, so I'm going to go over it again. Try to get it in one foul swoop, but sometimes it's not deep enough, and that's okay. Just got to go over it again. So I'm going to dig in there pretty deep this time. Okay, and you'll see on that little carve there, I kind of went too far. Went off my line. I can just take a piece of fresh clay, smooth it out in there, and it'll be fine. But I want to do my relief carving first. So I'm going to take my modeling tool now. And it doesn't matter which side of the line I choose. I'm going to choose the outside. I'm going to stick to the right of all of my lines. But I'm going to take my modeling tool, and I'm going to scrape off one side, and it'll give the illusion that I've shaved out a whole section, but I'm not actually shaving the whole section, so you don't have to do so much work. What I see a lot is you shave this way, right? Give one proper showing. So right there is the proper way to do it. I've got my tool, my modeling tool tilted back. I shave out that little section, nice and clean. What I see a lot of my students do is they just kind of try to take a shortcut, and they go like this, and just shave off the nub at the top. But there's still two layers that are equal, so you got to give the illusion that they're two entirely different levels by scooting the tool back. And what I mean by that is not up here on that line, tilt it back and shave. Sometimes I'll shave a little bit off, and then I'll scoot back and shave just a little bit more until it's nice and flush. So it takes a little while to clean it up and make it look nice, but the more you do with the modeling tool, the less work you have to do later with a wet paintbrush or a sponge, because at the end, after you shave all this off, clear my path there so I can see what I'm doing. After I shave it all off, I'm going to clean it up with a sponge, but you don't want to touch this line too much. You want to just do the side that you're shaving off. The reason you don't want to do this much, or this line very much, is because you'll end up dissolving some of that clay, and you want it to be a nice sharp edge. So I'm going to do a little bit more on my line just so you get a good idea of what it looks like. Okay, I'll tilt it up again so you can see it. So I'm shaving down that line. Okay, so that one wasn't so clean, so then I go back and I go over it again. Go a little further back, tilt my tool back. So some of these angles can get a little challenging, but the more challenging the angles, usually the more creativity that's involved. So what I would do is maybe the outside of this one here, the right side, then maybe the next one I'll do the left. I could do the right again if I wanted like a sort of layered pattern. Sometimes you can have lines crossing over. You do one and then you do another line that looks like it's crossing over, but it's not actually crossing over. So that is the relief carving. I'm going to show you a quick example of what relief carvings look like when they're completely finished and they've been glazed. So after color and everything's been added, you can see what they look like. So this is two slabs simply put together, just like our slab box. And then they did a relief carving. So this one, they shaved the line with the sgraffito tool, shaved the line, then took the modeling tool and carved out the side that later became white. But just one little shaving all the way along there. Okay, so just for the sake of example, this is a relief carving.